It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we have a beer from Finland, a Gose from Finland called Razzman. It's by the fabulous Orava Brewing Company. It's coming in at 5.4% ABV and it's called Razzman. So just by the name alone, I'm going to guess that it is a raspberry Gose in a 330 milliliter can. Without further ado, let's get the beer out into a glass and see what we get. A little bit of smoke on the can opening. I've had some wonderful beers from Finland over the last few days. Oh, look at this, look at the colour. Let's get those fingers out of the way. One finger, slightly pinky head that's dissipating very quickly. Have a listen. Can hear that hiss and fizz of the Gose. That's the style of beer. 5.4% ABV for a Gose is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty handy. I like it. I like the aroma. I like the kind of feel of it. The taste. I haven't tasted it yet, but I can smell it. I can smell it from a distance, and it's kind of leading me into things that I shouldn't be saying before I've even got to it. Loads of raspberry. Loads and loads of raspberry. Loads of kind of really plucky, lovely. So the Gose style. Should we have a taste first before we talk about the Gose style? I'll tell you briefly before we get in. It's a German style of beer, and that's all I'm going to give you. Let's dive into this. Cheers. Oh my goodness me. Oh. I gotta put that down. Bonkers. Stone the crows. Stone the crows. What a beer. What a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous beer. It's got all those wonderful kind of sour beer traits that a great sour beer has. What my favourite part about a sour beer is that you taste everything very quickly. It's all done and dusted in a flash. It's done. But what you're left with then, because you've had lots of the raspberry to begin with, lots of that kind of saltiness from the Gose style, which we'll get to in a minute. But you're left with a nice, grainy, malty, biscuity finish that just travels on your palate. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. It's packed this suitcase. It's making its way to Bristol Airport. It's travelling on a 4-hour flight to Lanzarote type of thing, and it's just going. The flavour is going and going and going. And that gives you a really good example of just the taste, just what the beer is fundamentally built on. And that's a really good multi-bready, biscuity brew. As I'm speaking now, I'm still speaking malt. I'm still tasting the light cracker bread style kind of malts coming through. And it's the reason why I like sour beer as much as I do. I don't think that was my front door. I think that was the neighbour banging against the wall. Wow. But I suppose we should get through to... We should get round to talking as to why my face is like this at the moment. And that's because of that... It's a unique kind of wonderful sourness that's coming through. It really is powerful. Powerful. I've had 2 or 3 now of these Finland sour beers, and they've just been wonderful. Absolutely cracking. One of my favourites was this one. Mel's got this to review, the Saikon and Annie. Saikon and Orava Brewing and Hemo. And that is just bonkersly good. Bonkersly good beer, which I'm sure hopefully you'll get round to watching. But you're first hit by a big round of raspberry. Loads of raspberry. It's a very refreshing brew at 5.4% ABV. It's an extremely clean, refreshing beer. Lots of raspberry, lots and lots of raspberry flavour coming through. Wow, wow! It's so tasty. And then we get to the salt, and I've been promising to talk to you about the salt in the beer for a long time. If you're old hat to beer and you know an awful lot about beer and this Gose style, then I apologise in advance, but I have to speak to the new viewers who have tuned into this beer review and wondering why this German style of beer has salt in it. Right, there was a river in Germany called the Gose River, and that river in Germany has natural high levels of salt. So a few hundred years ago, when a brewer started using that salty water to brew their beer with, they came up with a unique style of beer called the Gose. It had an element of saltiness. It wasn't like falling flat on your face into seawater and getting it in your eyes and tasting it and it's going up your nose and you're like, oh, you know, it's not like that type of salty water. It's just a hint. A small hint of saltiness that comes through in the taste of the beer, and it adds such a dimension, such a wonderful dimension to the beer that it was unique for hundreds of years in the region of Gose, that Gose River in Germany, and the beer style nearly died out. It completely nearly faded from memory, only for this whole craft beer revolution, which now we all know and love, to revive the style. Look, we have a brewery from Finland brewing a Gose with raspberries. I think it's wonderful, and it's one of the main reasons I love to be part of this craft beer revolution, where styles of beer that once nearly fell apart and died away and nearly forgotten about forever and ever have come roaring back. And I mean, look at them. Why would a beer style like this ever want to go out of fashion in the first place? They probably never brewed it with raspberries a few hundred years ago, admittedly, in Germany. But what the craft brewers have done by messing about with raspberries and blueberries and, you know, making them more sour, and it's just even more fun. It's more fun, and it's more fun for us. This is a wonderful, wonderful beer. One of the best beers I've ever had from Finland. It is full of raspberry flavour, a little bit of saltiness, lots of bready, biscuity malt flavours coming through as that kind of taste initially dissipates. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. For me, this beer, Razzman, by Orava Brewing Company, in Finland, for me, gets a Stone the Crows 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!